Hello and welcome to another snowy edition of Pulp Picks. If you thought that this winter was giving it up, you were wrong. My name is Patrick.
I'm Fritz.
And we're here to give you this week's reading recommendations on a day where you really need to curl up with a book and stay warm and toasty indoors. Unless snow's your thing. Although I don't think this is going to be the activity kind of snow. I think it's going to be
unless you just
sloppy and wet and gross.
Yeah, if you like it blowing in your face, you'll have fun. Otherwise, I think you probably just want to take this one as an inside day.
It's breezy out there. Although part of it should be spent inside your car so that you can come check out all the awesome comic books.
Look at all this stuff.
Picked. It's a big week. It's a lot of big titles, and we picked our top 3 for the week. And let's start with a new number 1. By Fritz here.
So much like last week, I've got one of our new Vertigo books that they've got coming out here, End of Life. Now, this series, one of the big attractions here is it's the reteaming of Carl Starks and Steve Pugh. They recently did a Peacemaker series at DC as well. That was pretty well received. So it makes sense that DC be like, hey, you guys want to do another book about a very amoral, maybe not the brightest guy that's good with guns kind of character? And they're like, sure, yeah, we'll do that. And so this follows our main character. Let me double check. I believe his name is Eddie Stallion, but let me get that right here, which is a great name. Just really good name.
Sounds like an 80s rocker.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Eddie Stallion. So he is part of this kind of secretive world, but still also, if you know, world-renowned mercenary group called the Menagerie. That's all kind of like animal themed. And he, being not maybe the brightest bulb, and to be fair, working off of some not great information, has kind of pissed some of them off in a very big way, and basically has to go to ground. And he figures, hey, the one place I would never go is back home, so I'll go back home.
Sure.
And it turns out that...
I bet his dad loves that.
Oh, his... multiple times in this issue, his dad has a shotgun pointed at his head. And despite it being the first issue of what is going to be an ongoing series, you're never really sure if he's actually... he might pull the trigger. I wouldn't blame him if he pulls the trigger. Because one of the great things about Eddie is he just kind of is not great at all. Like, he's... he's good at his job, but anything else, he is just a piece of work. And you kind of get hints of how he got that way. Like I said, his dad spends a good chunk of the issue pointing a gun at him. So clearly there's a lot of issues there with his family. Yeah. But he is just the kind of guy who spent his entire life making other people's lives more difficult, constantly just either killing or doing any kind of illicit substance he can get his hands on, or sleeping with anything that moves, pretty much. Just not living maybe the best life. And it's all feeling like it's coming back to bite him. Sure. And it's all beautifully rendered by Steve Pugh. We were talking about this before. I've always been a big fan of his. He did some New 52 work. Yep. The thing I mostly came to really enjoy him for was he was the artist on that Flintstones comic they did a decade ago, which makes me feel ancient saying that, because it does not feel that long ago. But hey, 2026 and 2016 is a long time ago, it feels like now. Yeah. But no, he's spectacular when it comes to facial work and just body expressions and just body type. I love Eddie's dad, and here's this very kind of big old guy. You feel like Ed Asner's voice should be coming out of him. Sure. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah, and so just absolutely great here. I know Kyle Starks has done some other stuff. I think he's done some indie books here and there. Yeah. It's been kind of more of his thing. And so this obviously is him being very home in terms of telling this kind of more, not your traditional, which is, again, what you expect from a Vertigo book. It's not supposed to be, superhero capes and tights kind of stuff. Right. A lot of times very messy people living very messy lives, which is this book to a T. And it's looking like between the Menagerie coming after Eddie and all the other weird stuff, there seems to be some gangsters running around his hometown. There's a disgraced newspaper comic strip artist that's got some issues going on there. It seems like no matter where he goes, he's not going to be to escape weird, bad people. Gotcha. Which, I don't know, him being not the that's not the most normal guy. Makes sense.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I'm very excited to. I feel like we're going to. I don't think Eddie's ever going to maybe be like a good person in this book, but I feel we're going to, as it goes, we're going to peel back layers and kind of discover, oh, this is why you're just not a good guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited to see where they go from here. 2 books in, very much enjoying this new Vertigo line so far.
Yeah, but Bleeding Hearts made it up here last week?
Yep,
yeah.
Bleeding Hearts made it up here. I'm trying to remember what's the next one that's coming up. It's I think it's a noir miniseries they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
That looks good. Chris Condon, I think, is writing it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. But no, so this was a good start, but you have a good ending.
Oh, nice segue. Yes, the end of Ultimate Spider-Man with issue number 24. This is it. They wrap it up.
It took 2 months, but it finally got here.
So there's a couple ways of doing that. You can either just kind of wind down and, you can try to do something really big and over the top. We've had a number of TV series in particular that have wrapped up and people didn't like the way that they wrapped up. This, for me, was as well done as possible. Like, it has you on the edge of your seat. You're turning pages quickly to try to get to that next panel. I felt anxious reading this book.
Which is a lot considering we know from Endgame which characters are for sure make it through and everything, but at the same, even reading this, you're like, I don't know, man, maybe.
I don't know, just this whole run has been so well done, and I can't give it enough praise. I just really, really enjoy this book. It was a sophisticated Spider-Man story, and I don't mean that in Spider-Man's wearing a tweed jacket and smoking a pipe. I mean it it was thoughtful. It was about people and interpersonal relationships, and it was less about just Peter Parker floundering and having too much on his plate. It was more about the world crushing in around him and his group of people, and him having to be that kind of firm holding center. And in this one, the dynamics are a little different than the original Spider-Man story, because the original Spider-Man story nobody knows. So he's got to kind of do that all by himself, and here he's got partners who are kind of helping him out. But even for them, he's kind of the strong center. Where does that put you when you're up against a giant cabal with crazy over-the-top superpowers and technology that run the world and want to kill anybody who gets in their way? Not a great place, it turns out. But he holds fast to being Peter Parker and to being the amazing friend, dad, nephew, husband that he is in all those relationships. And to me, it just felt more like they get the point of the Peter Parker character. It's not to, fail over and over again. It's, I don't know. It's because he doesn't really succeed either. You know what I mean? It's neither of those. It's just he's true to himself.
It's to keep standing no matter what's being thrown at him.
You get back up no matter how many times you get knocked down. And and you really never make it about you. You make it about the world at large and about the people around you. He doesn't really take much personally, or it's really got to go to a big extreme to take it personally. But anyway, beautiful art, beautiful story. This is one of those where 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I'll pick up the graphic novels and go, I want to dive back into this one again, because I remember the way that I felt when I read this, and it's been long enough now. I think I'm going to get some of that back again. But it's just one of those books. So the ending had some shocks to it, some surprises, but they were all, again, really well done within the framework of the story up until now.
Everything with Kingpin and Mr. Negative in here is great. Like, Them together, them with Spider-Man, they're just a lot of fun here.
Truly awful, untrustworthy people. Yeah, but, also just scary, dangerous. And, I mean, man, anytime that somebody makes it a point to kill a teenager, and his father, and rub it in their face the whole time that he's doing it and tell them about all the awful things that he's going to do. Like, it's just, what a soul-crushing experience. But, it makes for great storytelling. So, anyway, all right. Well, that's been one of our absolute favorite titles for the last 2 years. We have another book that for the last year and a half has been one of our absolute favorite titles.
And it's Absolute Batman issue 14.
It's everybody's absolute favorite title because if you look at any of the sales data for comic books, whether it's periodicals or trade paperbacks or hardcover graphic novels, Absolute Batman is number one all the way up and down the list, and it doesn't matter whether we're talking individual issues or we're talking overall sales. It's by far the best-selling comic book. And here we get another one of those little mini stories within the story where we get the origin of an antagonist.
Yeah,
I don't want to call her a bad guy, really, but
I think the people that get transformed into this issue might call her a bad guy.
Probably.
Yeah, but so this issue we focus on, or I guess this in the next issue, we're going to focus on Poison Ivy. Yeah. Her absolute introduction.
With another guest artist, as they've been kind of doing in these types of little segue stories.
Which, it says a lot that they keep bringing on people that can be very different from Dragotta, and in this case, it's Erica Kanede, or how do you think you pronounce it? Kanede?
Yeah, sure. I'm not going to try.
Sure, but yeah, who has been one of those artists that I've always enjoyed, but I just don't feel like I ever see on enough books. So having him on here is super cool, and he absolutely knocks it out of the park.
I think you're going to see him on a lot more stuff.
I really hope so.
I was blown away by the art on this book. It's so cool.
And it's interesting because he's very different from Dragotta, and that's been the case with several of the artists they brought on, but it never feels out of place because there's so many times you read any book and they'll have different artists do stuff and it feels like it doesn't mesh together.
Well, he's got definitely kind of a different overall style, but he kept with the character designs really well. Like, at a glance, that's Alfred. At a glance, that's Bruce, So.
And he's very good at matching, the energy. Yeah. I think that's the thing that a lot of them, even when they're different styles, they mesh so well with Snyder's writing style and the energy they bring to the book. It all still works no matter how different. And it also helps that they always feel like they very much fit the kind of story being told.
Yes.
And here, he's, no surprise, really good at drawing.
Body horror.
Yeah, a lot of scary plant monsters.
Yeah, well, and beyond. I love how Snyder is saying, so we're going to base this on kind of the original character concept, but we're going to push it further into the horrifying elements that would be if they went beyond where that character is in the main continuity for DC. And Poison Ivy here definitely pushes beyond any rational mind's limits for science. It's horrifying.
I love there's even a point in here where she straight up says, in another life, maybe I would have stopped at just plants, but I have to go further. It's just I like when they just kind of we need a lampshade a little bit like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I also like when a writer is smarter than me. So most books, but because his ability to talk about the science elements of what's going on here is really well done, I think, and it helps sell the character. The other thing that Snyder does really well is he does a really good job of keeping the whole story moving and keeping that energy going while keeping these other plot threads moving. And so we go back to Bruce's friend group and where they're at, and particularly Waylon and what's going on with him. We just get little glimpses. But also Bruce's mom, what's she been up to? Yeah. Turns out a couple things. Yeah. She's got some secrets. But they're all just woven in so quickly and deftly that it doesn't take away from the action that's happening with him. Yeah, the center of Gotham City has been turned into a plant fungus horror zone.
Yeah. I really enjoy how this book is exploring Bruce's relationship with how everyone else is reacting to Batman as a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And partially I think it's because of all the other things going on in his life. He's not really sure how to react to it, and when he does, maybe not in the most like positive manner, because for him, Batman is just supposed to be this thing for him, like him exercising his like need to just bring some kind of justice to the world.
Yeah.
And he's not really sure what to make of other people kind of embracing it and making it their own thing.
Kids playing with Batman toys.
Yeah, people selling Bat merch.
Yeah.
Like he's
Batman belongs to them now.
Yeah, and he doesn't really know how to feel about that, which is, I think, because that's been a thing that Snyder and many other writers have focused on, is what is exactly Batman's relationship with Gotham and its people?
Yeah.
And after all these years, like, where do you go when you are this kind of like larger than life figure and these people have these certain attachments to you?
Yeah.
And him just kind of being new to all this and experiencing this, it's very cool to see how he's just like, this is weird. I don't like this.
Yeah. It's been such a fun series. And side note, we just got a restock on all of the Volume 1 graphic novels, both paperback and hardcover. So if you're one of those people who hasn't gotten to it yet, now's the time. Can't believe that there's anybody out there based on how many copies we've sold of the issues and the graphic novels, but we keep selling them. So it's been so good. Do yourself a favor, even if superhero books are not your thing. This is all kinds of crazy rolled into one. It's not classic superhero-y, I wouldn't say.
Also, if you are someone that is interested in just getting like individual issues, they are doing reprints of a bunch of the Absolute books, like the individual issues coming up for certain ones. So if there's a particular issue, they're like, oh, I never got this one. I'd like to just have the actual floppy. Let us know so we can try and get a copy of it for you. They're coming out in March.
Yeah.
So it's coming up here real quick.
Yes. All right. Well, these are our top three. What was close to making it up here for you this week?
There was some other good stuff this week. I really enjoyed this issue of World's Finest. We're doing a little mini arc where it's dealing with the Crime Syndicate, which is a group that I always feel is kind of hit and miss, because when it's just like, oh, we're just evil versions of these characters, they can always feel kind of one note. But I feel like they do enough here in terms of some of the character work, especially in how they use other characters that have been showing up in the book so far and doing their evil versions of them.
Sure.
Is really kind of a fun play on that. Just how these very different relationships. And I really enjoy, since it's in this story, it's because it's the whole thing, it's the early years of these characters. It's also the early years of the Crime Syndicate, so they don't even actually exist as that yet. So there's a bunch of other different villain groups that exist in this world that they have to deal with. And I think that's a really cool
fun
dynamic.
Take. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, Fantastic Four was good this week. We finally get to meet the Invincible Woman, which it's one of those things where once they get into it, it's just like, oh yeah, that would be like an evil version of Sue. Not that we haven't seen that before. Is a lot scarier than maybe you think at first.
Sure. Yeah.
But no, those were both really good. What about you, Patrick?
Captain America was so good this week. It's kind of more of a, I don't know. This was Steve using, I mean, there's definitely some action scenes and whatever, but it's also Steve realizing like, hey, sometimes to know what's really going on, you have to talk to the people unfiltered. You just have to build a little rapport with somebody, gain their trust a little bit, and let them just talk to you openly so that you can really understand from their point of view what's happening here. And then big twist surprise at the end,
A couple twists. Yeah, there's a lot of spinning plates going on right now, which, I mean, you expect when you've got a whole like civil war going on in a foreign country.
Yeah.
And how it's going to play out, I don't think it's going to go well for a lot of people.
Yeah, this is taking elements from a lot of different writers over Captain America's history that I've enjoyed. There's a little bit of the Brubaker kind of spy thriller, espionage kind of thing. There's some kind of, Mark Waid's recent, I guess, Mark Waid's run that he did with Somni, where it's Cap just kind of being Cap, and I don't know, where he's kind of more that you're connecting more with him on a Steve level.
Yeah.
It's just there's a bunch of good stuff. The art is great in it. It's been a really fun book. G.I. Joe was really good. We're dealing with the fallout from the Dreadnought War, and man, Duke does not like robots.
No.
Holy smokes. It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out, but we also get further down the rabbit hole with Mask.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be interesting to see too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just been such a fun series.
I swear, if they get me to buy a Mask comic in 2026, I'm going to be mad, but I'm also like, well, you've got me in so far. Why not?
All the Mask people in these comics should be shorter than everybody else. So yeah, it's a bunch of good stuff. And then Volume 2 of Absolute Wonder Woman drops. So we've got the hardcovers and the paperbacks of that. We've got Ultimate Incursion restock. I don't know how that ended up here, but I missed that. Something is Killing the Children, Volume 9. So we've got a bunch of good graphic novels that dropped too. So yeah, it was a big stack. It hurt to buy it all last night, but yeah, I was very excited to sit down and read this morning. So yay, comic books.
Yay.
All right, well, yeah, we hope that you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, comment, share, and get on into your local comic book shop and pick up comics, because that's what makes this whole world go around. We'll be back next week with more Pulp Picks. Until then, enjoy the reading. I don't know why I pointed.
Yeah, why?
That was cheesy.
Yeah, it's fine.
Take that back.
Be better to our comics. I'm coming for all of you.